Dan, and we'll be good to go. Just be one moment here. Where the heck is that thing?
I'm ready. I'm ready when you are.
Thanks, bro. Just gotta do the bullshit warning.
Go ahead.
Hello, everyone. Just as a reminder, this channel is for educational or perhaps entertainment purposes only. It's always important to do your own research and come up with your own conclusions. And so, without any further ado, I want to welcome our good friend Dan to the channel. We kind of decided to do this last minute, so it's kind of open topic. I'm not really sure where we're going to go, but we'll just shoot the shit, and it's always a good conversation. So Dan, welcome back to the channel. How you doing, brother?
I'm doing good. Hi, everybody.
Good. So, how you feeling? Heart doing good?
You know, we have our ups and downs. I think you've had a few ups and downs lately. Mark maybe a little bit more than me lately. I have some sleep issues I have to deal with. Yeah, probably need one of those sleep apnea machines now. So.
Oh yeah, you saw my text about the Bluetooth and the Wi-Fi crap they're trying to put in that stuff.
Yeah, I'm not gonna get anything like that.
Okay, good. So what's on your mind, man? Anything you want to talk about? Anything you want to get into specifically, or been researching anything?
Well, yeah, I talk a lot about cognitive dissonance. It's one of my biggest things. But I'd have to find this video again. Oh yeah, I remember where it was. It was on a channel called John Eagle. There was a video from 2015. It was only like 7 minutes long, but my God, it shows the perfect demonstration of like absolute cognitive dissonance. And basically, it's these two New Jersey state troopers. They stop a woman. They don't know that she's a civil rights attorney.
Oh. They
stop her for speeding. And you can go on that YouTube channel and check it out for yourself. But they stopped her for speeding. The video is like a comedy of errors. But so she gives them her credentials because, she's a lawyer. She knows the procedure. But she won't answer the trooper's question of, do you know how fast you are going? and the reason that she doesn't answer, you don't have to be a civil rights attorney to know this, but
she doesn't want to
won't answer that
herself?
Yeah, she won't answer that question because she has the right to remain silent, right? She has the Fifth Amendment protection. She's a lawyer. She knows it. Everybody should know that, right? That you don't have to provide your own criminal prosecution for the government types.
Yeah.
So for whatever reason, the training that they give them today must be absolutely beyond piss poor. Either that or also the schooling. I mean, I guess they don't teach them anything about the Bill of Rights or anything. They lock her up. She can't even believe it. On the car camera, she can't believe it. They arrest her for obstructing. But here's the great part.
For not answering the question
of how fast you were going.
That is.
Do you know how fast you were going? She won't answer that question.
Insane.
Because you don't have to incriminate yourself. You have the Fifth Amendment protection, right?
Unbelievable.
So she doesn't want to answer the question, so they arrest her for it. Now, the video, the narrator explains, everything that's happening, but they arrest her for that. She can't even believe it. Like, she's like a lawyer, so she can't even believe this is happening, right? So she complies, so she knows she's going to sue everybody later, So the part that struck me wasn't how completely dumb and retarded this whole situation was. As soon as the trooper puts her under arrest, he then tells her she has the right to remain silent. And he reads her Miranda rights.
The irony.
And I was looking at it. I was sitting there with other people watching this, and I said, there it is. There is a demonstration video of just how screwed up cognitive dissonance is.
Mm.
Because obviously he knows people have a right to remain silent, and he arrested her for remaining silent. You can't get the confusion that's going on in the head. So the narrator said that when they got to the station, a supervisor figured out what the hell just happened and released her. She sued and got $30,000.
Good.
Yeah.
I wonder, did she kind of like, if they did they actually put her in a holding tank or anything like that?
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
It took probably a few hours before a supervisor figured out what the hell just happened. He was probably reading the warrant, because after you arrest somebody in New Jersey, you type out a warrant. He's probably reading it because a supervisor has to sign off on that, and then a judge would eventually have to sign it. He's probably got to the part where he's reading what the hell the trooper just did, and he's like, wait, you did what? You locked her up for not answering your question? And then you told her she has the right to remain silent. And guess what? She had that right from the moment you went up to her, talk to her. So that was one thing I saw that was interesting. And then there was this NDE video I was watching where this woman dies in a car crash temporarily, has a near-death experience. I'd have to find that one too. It comes up if you search Jesus NDE, but it was like just 23 minutes long, and it was a video, and this woman is telling her story, and it was amazing to me because as she's telling, I asked Jesus this, and this is what he told me. Every single answer was like, wow, this is like the grift right here. This is the grift of the afterlife for the reincarnation soul trap, the guilt trip, the whole works. It was all encapsulated in 23 minutes of video.
All you can eat buffet fuckery.
Yeah, absolutely. It was amazing. And then, of course, and as I'm thinking of it, I had immediate answers for all of these, so-called fantastical proclamations of the so-called Jesus, whoever the hell that was. And I'm like, wow, if that was me, I'd have an answer for that. I'd have an answer for that. As a matter of fact, I'd be able to turn around any of these arguments right back to the whatever. And that's the key. You got to be ready for that when you enter the afterlife. You got to have to be able to really understand the trickery that goes on and
exactly.
And how to turn it back around on them. You should be prepared to answer back with any of this stuff. It was it was the most pathetic stuff I had ever heard in 23 minutes. I'm listening to this video. I'm like, holy shit, that is the worst convoluted bullshit I've ever heard. It sounded like a car salesman trying to sell a piece of crap car back to to somebody, and it was just those two things. As a matter of fact, I wanted to kind of make a video of that Jesus one. But here's the thing, Mark. You do this all the time. A lot of YouTubers do it. They do it with movies. They do it with TV shows. Mm-hmm. I'm telling you that they got it in for me. If I put anything, one time, all I had was the Internet Movie Database page up. I was making a video about either a TV show or a movie. And when you bring up the IMDb page to a movie or a TV show, the trailer has no sound, but it's kind of just looping. It's looping in this little box. It's not even like the whole web page. It's just in this little box. And you know how I do my videos. I basically just have my screen up on the thing. As soon as they went to upload that, now it's a trailer. So automatically should be 0 copyright issues, right? The trailers are the advertising for the movie.
Yeah.
If you're doing a review of something, people do these trailer reactions all the time. I get immediately hit with copyright. And I'm like, what the F? Why can other people show clips of movies and TV shows and dissect all this stuff and review it, and I can't even do that. What, is there something that they have against me or something? What is going on here? Do you have any idea? Because you play stuff all the time.
What I do is I play stuff, but it's not movies. You know, like I have played, I think, a couple trailers. I got hit on my Truth in Gaming channel. I think when I played a Rogan clip, that came to my mind. They hit that right away, and I
Rogan?
fought it, and I fought it, and it I lost. Like if I wanted to go to court, I could win, but I just don't care that much, anyways.
What's Rogan?
Joe Rogan. Joe Rogan.
Oh, you play the Joe Rogan
Yeah.
clip? People play his clips all the time.
I know.
It's a meme. They have these memes of Joe Rogan.
Nah,
You know, like the one where there'll be those people in the bar and they put whatever they want on the screen.
Yeah.
And then everybody erupts and you see Joe Rogan erupting and
yeah, that's a great. I love that GIF. That meme, yeah, it's great. But
I don't get it. I mean, you're supposed to be able to use fair use.
Yeah, it just doesn't. It's just selective fair use. Now, I mean, okay, so I did a lot of digging on this before, and I found that I don't really use movie clips or TV. I just kind of, as a rule, I stay away from them. But I know there are certain companies, like I know, like you have like Fox, Universal, all the Sony Pictures, all those things. Some of them are totally fine with you using stuff on your videos. And then there are others that will shoot you down no matter what you put up there. Now, the golden rule, I've been told, is that the clip should always be 7 seconds or less. And that's what gets past it. But even that, who knows, right? I mean, it could still get hit, and you can have a problem. Some things I used to see people do to get around copyright. This was like way back in the day, and some still do it. They take screenshots. They put like in there's some programs you can put in a movie and have them spit out a ton of screenshots within a certain segment of time. And so, like, if you're trying to get a point across, like exposing something, you can do it that way. Maybe. Or you may want to dig and see which specific studios allow you to do commentary over it, because I don't know, man. I mean, it's really hit or miss. And the last thing I'll say is, like, always take whatever you're making or whatever clip you're going to use, pop it into YouTube Studios if you're uploading it privately, and then see what copyright checks come back. And then you can have an idea as to what you'll be working with. And if you want to go a step further, you can always reach out to the studios or the copyright holder and see if they'll give you permission once your actual video goes live, you know? So that's the best thing I could recommend.
Well, have you seen, I don't know if you're into like sci-fi as I like with Star Wars as much as I am. But have you seen the drama going on with Star Wars right now?
I mean, I don't really know much of anything going on with it. Whatever I know is, I think, what you told me already.
Well, it's just becoming absolutely like a soap opera. Actually, it's become a real war in the Star Wars community. It's kind of ironic. But
a war in Star Wars.
Yeah, there's a war in Star Wars. Yes, the drama going on is like people that want good entertainment and objectively good dialogue. I mean, there's a thing that Star Wars is, and then there's whatever it isn't. And Disney seems to be hell bent on making it what it isn't. And there was this whole thing after the Acolyte, and now it's I don't know if you know a channel called Star Wars Theory. He's got 3 million subscribers.
I don't believe so.
He has videos that go back to like 2016, and now because of the drama, because he didn't like one show that Disney made, the Acolyte, this disaster, they're hitting him with copyright violations. Videos that have sat there for years.
That's
Review
what
videos. fan films.
It's I don't know. I would maybe stick with Odyssey and Rumble when you're doing stuff like that, and just make a video on YouTube saying, "Hey, I'm going to be doing like a breakdown of this and that over on my other channels, or my on the other sites." I mean, you could always test the waters and fight them and see if you can win the appeal. And a lot of times I win appeals. There's very few I've lost, but I'm also very selective with what I put up there. So, I played a little maybe too careful.
Because the reason it came up is because I recently made a video reviewing that show KAOS I told you about on Netflix. And the show is really well made. It has a lot of content in it that some people may not like, but it's still well made. It tells a story. It focuses on the Greek myths, but it has the reincarnation soul trap.
Nice.
In the plot. I mean, it's awesome. It was wild when I started to figure out what the hell was going on. It's one of those, as any good story, when they're telling you a story, you don't realize everything right away. You kind of like think you know what's going on, then things come into the story that you didn't know before, and that's how good stories are told. And it's in there, man. It's wild. It's crazy. It was so blatant. The whole parasitic soul reincarnation trap is in there. And I've had people comment. Somebody reminded me of Tony Soprano, season 6, episode 3. Did you ever watch The Sopranos?
Oh yeah, I had that set. Oh, I watched the whole thing as it was coming out. It's an amazing show. But I know exactly what scene you're talking about with Tony going to light. I had that set aside for years, and I wanted to cover it. I tried doing it, they wouldn't let me. It's I don't know. I mean, did you try doing it?
I simply talked about it in a video after the KAOS video because.
Did they give you a copyright strike for talking about it?
No, I simply showed people, where to find it. It was an episode called Mayhem, and they spelled it weird, probably because one of these mobsters mispronounced mayhem in the show, and I think that's where they got the title from. And they spelled it Mayham, and then it's season 6, episode 3. So it's the last season of the Sopranos, and the whole thing is he was shot, and then he starts drifting, and he's basically dead.
Be well, everyone.
What's the matter?
I'm sorry. The super chat was talking on the stream, and I don't know why it's doing that, because I set it up to specifically not do that. I'm sorry, guys. I forgot to switch it. It just breaks concentration. I'm sorry. It shouldn't. I'm gonna fix that for the next stream, but it just really throws me off when it happens. But very much appreciate the super chat, Dave. Dave says, Dan and Mark, 2 of the best. Be well, everyone. Thank you so much, man.
Hey, Dave. Yeah, that was like Steve Buscemi is kind of like the gatekeeper. Mm-hmm. There's that point where they want him to give up this briefcase that he's got. And he has a weird name that he's going by in this.
Yeah, it does.
It was like Cavefinity or something like that. It almost like had the word infinity in it. I wasn't able to figure out what they meant with that name. Well, it wasn't Tony Soprano there.
I'd have to go back and look at it. I mean, we could... maybe we could play the audio.
I don't want you to get copyright hit.
The audio might make it through, but the video sucks, man, right? It'd be great to be able to... we'll just leave it alone, I guess, but...
Yeah, I'd like to know what the audience would think about what they meant, because he has like this... He's almost like this... He's like in California, or the Astral version.
The Astral California,
yeah. And he's got a briefcase, and his briefcase seems to be very important to him. And he's going on, but with this different name, and he has that moment where he has to decide what to do, and they want him to give up that briefcase. You can't go through with that.
Yeah, you
And he's
can't.
like, no. Yeah, and he's like, no, this is everything that's important to me. I'm thinking that's his identity. That's him.
Yeah, that's what I got from it too.
And
Yeah, I'm with you.
if he surrendered the briefcase, then he would lose his memories, go through the reincarnation system.
Yeah, he did not want to go.
No, he heard his daughter's voice calling to him.
Yeah, Meadow was calling to him. Yep. Like
And
out in the
then-
woods, right? Or something
Yeah,
like
in
that,
the woods, the trees are moving.
Everything's
His
white.
daughter's,
That's white light.
because she was in the hospital thinking he's dying. She's crying and calling to him, and he hears her, and then he comes back.
Mhm.
And he wakes up, and then he is suddenly in pain all over again. You know, he feels the pain of the gunshot wound. And,
Welcome home.
yeah, welcome home, welcome back.
Well, I wonder what Tony Soprano's mission would be, just to cause more suffering and pain, right? That please,
yes,
you must go back and fulfill your mission of pain and suffering of others.
How many times have you heard NDEs where they all say that? They say I had a job to do, I had a mission, and they all then say, but I have no idea what it is.
I talk about it all the time, man. All the time. I say it's like it's incredible. They always seem to forget that. I've run across people who will openly say, I think I know what my mission is. I think, but they never know flat out. And
I can tell them. I can tell them what it is.
What is it,
more
Dan?
louche.
Yeah, there you go.
Make
Bravo,
more
bravo.
louche.
Yeah, man. It's that's like one of the things that just drives me crazy. It's like, oh, we have the mission to fulfill. I have this to, I have to go back and do this, but oh, I'm sorry, I forgot. I mean, come on, that's such a major red flag. It's massive red flag.
The thing is that if you can remove the cognitive dissonance from people's heads or the thinking process, it becomes crystal clear. All these little cognitive biases get in the way of people figuring out the truth. It keeps people. Guess what? I was reading a book. I was planning on reviewing it. I'm not sure if I'm going to review it. It was called, because I was looking up the word belief. I was doing some research, and I'm looking up the word belief because it has the word lie in it. Right?
Yeah.
Now, I typed it out just to see what search engine would do if you break the word up and you capitalize lie and you kind of separate the letters. And the first thing that comes up is a book with that title. It's got a title, Belief, and it's from this woman who writes this book about, why do you believe what you believe? Kind of like a book explaining that, you're just kind of programmed from birth and, you're believing a bunch of garbage and, this is why, this is how it happens. Kind of like that video you made that explains the hypnagogic state from 0 to 7, and then all the indoctrination you pick up from school, from religion. There you go. And then what was her book? The thing is, I don't actually recommend it. It's not like I'm going to recommend people read the book. And I'll tell you why in a second. Let me see here. Oh, yeah, here it is. Okay. I mean, you can read it if you want to, but...
you're talking about the book.
Yes.
All right, well, you're finding that. I'll read part of this. Okay.
Actually, can you see the cover?
Okay, I got you zoomed in here.
That is washed out. That is just washed out.
Might want to lower your
Yeah, hold on.
brightness, maybe.
Yeah.
May want to turn on dark mode too.
It is on dark mode.
Okay.
It is dark mode. The problem is the cover is white.
Okay.
Let me find it, and I'll
I mean, it's a unique cover.
Yeah. Okay. The book is called "In Every Belief, There's a Lie."
Okay. In
And
every
it's
belief,
from
there's a lie.
"In Every Belief is a Lie."
Oh,
It has, and it's from Lisa Schermerhorn.
her last name's Horn.
Shermer.
Shermer Horn.
Yeah, Schermerhorn.
Okay, cool. It's got a funny.
And I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why I don't recommend the book.
Okay.
Yeah, if you want to find it so you can show people, or
Hey, I had the etymology thing. You spoke it, so that's all right. I'm sorry. Could you repeat the name again?
you can see the way the title is made. Oh, there it is. Can you see
Oh,
that?
there you go. Oh, yeah, much better. Yep. And every belief is a lie. And is it
Yeah,
inverted like that, or is that just the camera?
that's the camera.
Okay,
I think I can reverse that.
that's okay. I think
Oh yeah, here
everyone
it is.
gets it. That's all right.
There's a reverse button here. Now, there it is.
Ah, there we go. Perfect. All right. Yeah, I love. That's a big one.
Okay. Yeah. So okay. So I'm reading this book, and there's some good content in it. You know, it's got some good stuff in it. But as I'm getting toward the end of the book, this happens to me every time. It's unbelievable. It's like when I read a psychology article on cognitive dissonance. At some point, maybe 3/4 of the way into the article, the author will start using examples of cognitive dissonance
Yeah.
of things that he believes that require cognitive dissonance to believe them.
Yes. Oh my God, I'm with you, man. Same thing.
And I'm like, how? It's almost like people figure out that what they believe is a lie, and then they simply transition to another lie without stopping and investigating everything. Like you should. It's at that point. Oh, I just figured out my religion is bullshit. Let me just hop onto this other religion. Or no, maybe you should stop and say, hey, wait a minute, this religion is bullshit. How do I know anything else is legit? Maybe I should research everything, right? I know, I remember when I found out I was affected with cognitive dissonance, it was a shock. It was absolutely shocking that, when I figured out I was doing it myself, I became hypercritical of everything because
yeah.
Same thing in this book. By the time you get to the end of the book, or near the end of the book, it's not a long book, she starts telling you like personal stories. And as she's telling you personal stories, you find out, oh, well, this woman figured out that, beliefs can have lies, except she believes a bunch of lies. So that's why I don't recommend the book. As soon as you find out, she's stuck in religious tarde and whatever it is she believes in now, and I'm like, oh God, here we go.
There's there's an NDE researcher out there that kind of skews the data to suit his religious stuff. It's really infuriating. It's because there's a lot of good stuff, but it's just very skewed. So you have to do a lot of homework crisscrossing his research to make sure that he's not fibbing, let's say. And and it's pre-baked into the cake, the cognitive dissonance. It just drives me nuts.
Right. This is why I wanted to review that the whole Jesus encounter in the NDE I was listening. It's because every single thing, when she asks a question, the answers that she got, every single answer would be the fault of the designer of the human being, not the human.
Yeah.
And as I'm listening to, and she thinks that, it was so profound. He said this this and he says that, and oh, everything's so profound, except every single dilemma with whatever decision that she had made during her life, this, that, or the other thing, would be all the fault of the way we process information. Because the brain, the way I see it, the brain is like a processor. It's no different than like a computer processor. You get incarnated into the human body, and now, like, as Rupert Sheldrake would say, the brain is a reducing valve. But it's not just a reducing valve. It's a processor and has firmware. That firmware is all these things that affect the way we make decisions, or the way we process reality and think that we know what's going on. It's all because the way the brain processes our consciousness.
Exactly.
And then you end up with this garbage in, garbage out situation. Just like old computers, you garbage in, you program garbage into the computer, and you're going to get garbage out. That's what happens. Take a look around.
That's right.
Take a look around. Some people today are so freaking detached from even like the most basic ability to reason.
It's true. It's and we're like in this time period or this epoch where there's so much truth available. Like they not even the truth, but the system itself is just revealing it, like itself in an epic way. Like everyone should be able to discern what's going on a little bit.
Sure, you have access. Yeah, we have access to more information out there than before.
Yeah.
But it's almost like this ironic twist where, first of all, even for me and you and other people in our audience that are into researching all this stuff, there's almost like too much information out there, right? And you have suddenly I've seen people pop up all over the place talking about reincarnation recycling.
Mm-hmm. Oh, it's been infested.
And then I'm listening to them. I was listening to an interview last night where this woman, because I was listening to the interviews from a Typical Skeptic because I'm going to be on his show. He's a very nice interviewer.
Oh, Rob's a really nice guy. He's got a really good heart. I'm not, like he's always kind and, very, very nice host.
Yes, he has that sort of like Art Bell type style, something like that. Where
that's what he's going for, actually.
Oh,
that's his like kind of like the basis of his show. Like the person he looks up to.
Oh, well, I think he accomplished his. But I'm listening to him last night. I was listening to him. He's interviewing a woman. She's talking about reincarnation. Nothing against her and her views or anything like that. But I could tell that she was trying to dump the whole human condition into the game and experience thing. That it's always just a game or just an experience.
Yeah, the game part.
It's a learning experience. It may be a game, but it's not. It's like a casino where it's rigged, and the house always wins. I mean, some people occasionally get to win a little bit, but the house has to win. Because and that's the kind of game it is. It's not a kind of game where you're winning all the time, or it's designed to let you win. It's not designed to let you win. It's an awful game. Yeah,
it's I really that what's happened with the topic is just mind blowing. And I kind of knew it would happen. I'm sure you did too. That like, it's like, oh yeah, it's like a bunch of different things. Oh yeah, the soul trap. It was like this is the craziest one that drives me out of my mind. With the new age or the new cage, where they say, oh yeah, it was a soul trap, but we're going through a shift and it's since been shut down. I'm not even joking. Like I have videos saved I've been meaning to cover and just It's mind blowing.
I've seen that. Yes, I've seen that. The Soul Trap is shut down.
It's shut down. Reincarnate, like everything, you have full, recall afterwards. No big deal. Attachments aren't a thing anymore, and karma. And all, I mean, it's just because they have to. In my opinion, like the topic took off, and so some of these new cage people out there were starting to get asked these questions, and they had to come up with something. They had to come up with something, and that's one of them.
It's because when you take it in totality, the information, if you just be aware of the cognitive dissonance going on in your head with whatever belief systems you happen to picked up and dumped into your subconscious, which is running like a program. If you can just keep that under control, the only deduction you can come to in the end is there's something wrong here, and this isn't flowing. This isn't working as an experience that's benefiting me.
Yeah.
Because it can't, because amnesia, lifetime after lifetime, suffering, pain, in a world where you're surrounded by a bunch of lunatics and tyrants and all kinds of psychopaths. I'm sorry, that doesn't work out as an experience or like a ride at Universal Studios. it's not it's not an experience that it is healthy for the psyche, for the soul. It's not healthy.
No, it's and it really it's something to just, in my opinion, like marvel at, like how the cognitive dissonance and how you could just be looping in your head and just trying to make sense of the world, but also make sense of the world where it's gonna hug and kiss you and comfort you so that you can ignore the horrors, right? You can explain away the horrors, whereas like the Soul Trap, it's difficult to start off and realize and come to, but at the same time, like I think it's extremely empowering, like because you do realize that you yourself and everybody here, no one's special, no one is any better than anyone else. We're all creator beings involved here, and intention is king, right? That should be the most empowering thing that the Soul Trap message has to say. But at the same time, the other empowering part is what you were talking about earlier, Dan, and that's that you have to kind of know the bag of tricks that are in store. And I talk about that constantly. Like it's so important, like that you see and kind of come to that firm inner knowing within about the bag of tricks and everything that's going on here, so that you yourself can use your intention and your creator being abilities to exit the hell out of here and with a sovereign direction, right? Sovereign intention. Like it's like that's the empowering part. All that stuff, like coming to those realizations, being able to go outside the body and prove to yourself that those things are possible and that you are a creator being and intention is king. Like but it's like, oh, like everything just like has to, like the Soul Trap, the words have this inherent negative connotation to it, but the cognitive dissonance comes rolling in, and like we kind of sometimes shut down as human beings and don't want to face things when they go against what we thought or what we think or what could be in belief, right? As you were pointing out, belief, faith, hope. So yeah.
Yes, I think we didn't design the human being. We just happen to be occupying a human form right now. So when you get nailed in the first of all, when you leave here, in before you can get yourself together, you're obviously interrupted and distracted as soon as possible, because you still have all the you're still projecting your human form, and that includes the way you think here, what you believed here, what you look like here. You know, you may de-age, maybe. You know, a lot of people will de-age back to a more perfected human form, like in their 20s, and in a more of a perfect storm. But when you get peppered with dialogue from these beings, you're being distracted, and from what I can tell, people in out of body experiences, when they start to get comfortable, they realize that when they imagine something, when they conjure something in their mind, they can actually produce it in the astral plane, in like a material form, sort of, because there's like materialness in the astral. Somehow, it's physical, kind of like here, but different, right? And so the thing is that what limits do you have once you realize that you can conjure up stuff? Obviously, you know, like Robert Monroe's gateway experience includes conjuring up a protective shield around you. It's part of his procedure for out of body experience. Is you want that protective bubble or balloon? Didn't he call it a balloon?
Yeah, I think so. And I've used it. I've taken that from him for for when we leave the Matrix, right? Like putting up that I call it a shield, or, you know, bubble of protection. Same thing.
Yes.
Like it's but even going outside the body, like or like if you're maybe experiencing some negative energies, like, yeah, it's important to realize that you can do that.
Exactly. Yes. So then you have the messages or the dialogue that you may run into in an exchange, but virtually every dilemma that you have had is first caused by the flaw in the design of the human itself. You wouldn't have made those stupid decisions if you didn't have all these. I mean, when you look at the list of cognitive biases, it's insane. It's insane. Can you bring that up on the screen? If you just type in list all cognitive biases, you will get from one of those psychology websites a chart, a list, or some of them have a diagram. It is insane. It is amazing when you look at that chart. It's amazing you can even cross the street without everybody just getting run over. It's amazing you can choose or decide when to cross the street or do anything.
I'm gonna put this one up because it's a little easier to look at.
There's just 50 there, but there's way more than that.
Yeah, because the other one's like, it's not gonna work well on the screen because of how condensed it is.
Sure. Can you read some of those?
Yeah, hold on. I'm just gonna bring it. I'm gonna try to zoom it in a little bit here. All right, that's a little bit better. All right, so we have memory, social, learning, belief, money, and politics. Let's see, fundamental attribution error. We judge others on their personality or fundamental character, but we judge ourselves on the situation. Sally is late to class. She's lazy. You're late to class. It was a bad morning. Self-serving. Well, let's go to the in-group. In-group favoritism. We favor people who are in our we favor people who are in our in-group as opposed to an out-group. Francis is in your church, so you like Francis more than Sally because what? Sally's not in your group. Yeah, I mean, like and then we'll go to group think. Actually, we'll read the next few. Due to desire for conformity and harmony in the group, we make irrational decisions, often to minimize conflict. There you go. It's kind of like what we were just kind of alluding to. Sally wants to go get ice cream for Francis. Sally wants to go get ice cream. Francis wants to shop for t-shirts. You suggest getting t-shirts with pictures of ice cream on them. Bandwagon. This is a big one. Bandwagon effect. Ideas, fads, and beliefs grow as more people adopt them. Sally believes fidget spinners help her children. Francis does too. Jumping on the bandwagon.
Yeah, that's a big one.
Oh,
That
huge.
is a big one.
Yeah.
Sucks in people in the group think.
Mm-hmm.
It causes all kinds of chaos.
Let's see.
I know cognitive dissonance has to be in there somewhere. That's definitely in the top 50.
Let's see. Spotlight effect. We overestimate how much people are paying attention to our behavior and appearance. Sally is worried everyone's going to notice how lame her t-shirt is. Her ice cream t-shirt is. Curse of knowledge. Once we know something, we assume everyone else knows it too. Alice is a teacher and struggles to understand the perspective of the new students.
Even I suffer from that one.
Sure.
Because once I figure out, oh, this is bullshit, then I expect everybody else to be able to figure it out.
Yeah, and it kind of gets infuriating, seeing it from the outside, and then how things kind of come together, and it gets more and more obvious, like just how pathetic everything is.
Yes. Once you start to analyze some of these biases, these top 50 here, you start to realize just how screwed we are.
Exactly. And like that's such a difficult thing to come to terms with. And why the soul trap itself gets a bad rap, right? It's because of the hopelessness aspect with stuff, right? It's sad. It's difficult, but at the same time, at the end of the day, I was talking about this on my Truth in Gaming channel last night. It's like we just got to look out for ourselves. We got to look out locally if possible, and try to make small decisions. If you have children, make the change and try to help them with becoming better informed, and having truth instilled as their compass, right? Their forward compass, so that they can thrive better, and of course being open-minded and to any and all discussions. It's just I don't know. It's just difficult. It's
I found
really
that
is.
web.
Oh, but you can share on here too. So you just hit the share button and then screen, and then just pick your specific tab.
I'm actually on the same page you are. You want me to share that same page?
Oh, I thought you wanted to share something else. I'm sorry.
No, I'm looking for cognitive dissonance. I know it's got to be in here.
Okay, I don't see it on this one. Because there's only 1, 2, 3. There's only 15 total.
Here's one. Here's one. Belief bias. We judge an argument's strength not by how strongly it supports the conclusion, but how plausible the conclusion is in our own minds. Sally mentions her supporting theory about your conspiracy theory, which you adopt wholeheartedly despite the fact that she has very little evidence for it. Backfire effect. Oh, that's a big one. That's huge. That's huge. Disproving evidence sometimes has the oral. I want everybody out there to really think about this one, because this one, when I was reading about this one, it's mind-blowing. Disproving evidence sometimes has the unwarranted effect of confirming our beliefs. Mm-hmm. The evidence that disproves your, I'm just going to say theory or belief. It says conspiracy theory, but I'm just going to say whatever you happen to believe. The evidence that disproves what you believe in is probably faked, and it says by government, but it actually could be from anybody. You could be having a religious debate with somebody, and you know how that works out. It doesn't matter what none of the first of all, if you're arguing between, like, say, creationism and evolution, you're dealing with two people that have both people have flawed um, cosmologies to begin with. And now they're arguing with each other. And then when one disproves the other's problems with their theory, they then have to use cognitive dissonance and the backfire effect to maintain their belief.
Well said.
And then it goes back and forth. And, the famous one I remember is Bill Nye debating Ken Ham.
Oh,
remember that one?
No, but all you have to do is say Bill Nye, and I'm like, my brain checks out.
He's the fake scientist, right?
Yeah.
We live in a world where a guy's called the science guy, but he's not actually a scientist. And then
isn't the same thing for DeGrasse Tyson too? I think
probably.
Oh wait, no,
I don't
he's
like
supposedly like a physicist or something, or allegedly.
Yeah, allegedly. I don't know. He's also, it comes off to me as annoying as Tom Campbell.
Oh yeah. And he won't debate people. He won't.
No.
He will not debate people. That's a whole.
No.
We can go down this. They're both all three mentioned are clowns.
Yeah, and yes, yeah. I mean, we live in a crazy world where what's that other actor's name? The one that was in Rocky.
Rocky Balboa. I mean, you're talking about Sylvester Stallone.
No, not Sylvester Stallone. The guy who played the Russian.
Oh, I don't know what that guy's name is.
Lundgren something. Ralph Lundgren. I'm sure somebody in the chat. Oh, damn it! Now I gotta go find it. I think it was Rocky 3. I think. Oh yeah, it was Rocky. No, that was when Mr. T.
Oh, Mr. T. I always liked Mr. T growing up.
Then it must have been Rocky 4.
Mr. T was always a positive force for kids. There really aren't individuals like him for children these days. You know that?
No, it's true. Listen,
he was good. He really was. He was good for kids.
Yeah, I've been rewatching some of the A-Team. It streams on Roku.
Yeah, the A-Team. Yeah.
It streams on Roku, and I watch it. I used to watch it in the 80s when I was on TV. The show is absolutely hilarious, but it's Mr. T and the guy, Dave Schultz, the guy who plays Murdoch. Those two interacting with each other on the show. It makes the show absolutely hilarious. But there was this one scene that had me laughing so hard. It was they go into this diner, and people want to hire them to stop some wrongdoers. And the diner guy says, "Hey, would you like some coffee?" And Face Man, Dirk Benedict, or somebody says, "Yeah, sure, thanks." And the diner guy says, "How would you like it?" And Mr. T, without missing a beat, says, "In a cup, fool." In a cup.
Oh, that's great.
In a cup, fool. I just thought that was fun. Okay. It's Dolph Lundgren.
Yeah.
Dolph
True
Lundgren
Detective put it in there.
is actually a scientist.
Wow. Who knew?
Bill Nye is not a scientist, but Dolph Lundgren is actually a scientist.
So is Dolph Lundgren got I guess clout out in the Matrix or something? Because I never even heard that name.
Oh, he's just an actor, but he actually has
degrees.
He actually has scientific degrees.
Huh.
That you can call him a scientist.
Okay.
Let me see here.
And that's why they maybe perhaps chose to go with
Bill Nye.
Bill Nye and DeGrasse Tyson.
Let's see here. Okay, check this out. Okay, so you got Bill Nye, who's not a scientist. They call him the science guy. He says all kinds of, fucking bullshit all over the place. Nobody challenges them. They give them awards and propel him as the most obnoxious guy on television or whatever. Dolph Lundgren, on the other hand, has a degree. I'm reading from his bio here. He has a degree in chemical engineering from the Royal Institute of Technology that he got in the early 80s. He has a master's degree in chemical engineering from the University of Sydney in 1982. He holds the rank of 4th Dan black belt in karate and was the European champion in 1980 and 81. But all we know him as is an actor. That's how people know him as. Isn't it? That's the crazy world we live in. Nothing makes any sense. Where is cognitive dissonance on this list?
I know. That's what I was looking for, too.
They don't have it on here. That's impossible. They have to have it on here. Nope. Not on here. Wow. That's amazing. I'm going to just go look it up so I can read the definition. Yeah, I think cognitive dissonance goes hand in hand with the backfire effect. You get those two things together and you cannot make sense with anybody that has affected, and especially when these things spiral out of control and you mix that in with indoctrination, brainwashing, all the crap people pick up in their childhood, and then you are dealing with people that can be completely, you can't reason with them, you can't even make sense with them. And then most people are affected by this stuff in one degree or another. And when you try to, with everything being promoted out there in philosophies, except for the reincarnation soul trap, when you come and tell people, you know what, I've been studying this for, 10, 20 years. And after looking at all the evidence, this is what I come up with. That's my theory. And they look at you like you're crazy. Yeah. But cognitive dissonance is a psychological state of discomfort that occurs when a person's beliefs, values, or actions are inconsistent or contradictory. It can be caused by conflicting ideas, beliefs, knowledge of one's own actions. That's not even a good definition. It's really the conflict when you have opposing information in your head and you have to try to make sense of it, and then you normally what people do is default to the belief.
Exactly. Yep.
So
almost all the time.
Yeah, they default to the belief. So, my religion said X, so that must be true. It's almost like you're running a computer program and it's following the simple basic instructions.
100%.
So this is true. Therefore, anything that contradicts this is false.
Yeah, exactly. Anything that kind of threatens that belief system, that safely guarded, oh so holy belief system or faith, is can't be right, can't be considered.
No, it can't. It's it's crazy today when you have all these people out there and they're all battling each other over politics, and nobody stops to consider that. Isn't it odd we only have these two choices or these two systems in place? And both people on both sides believe that they're the good guys and that the other ones are evil.
Or as Trump would say, there were good people on both sides.
It's just mind-blowing to me that, it's like I used to have a T-shirt. It looked like these zombies. I don't have it anymore. I think I wore it too much. I wore it out. But only one time a cashier at a grocery store looked at it and figured it out. And she started laughing at it. And it was a T-shirt that basically had zombies on it, and it was the message. I forget how it was worded, but basically the T-shirt was saying, without government, who will build the roads? Who will build the roads? I think it just said roads on the bottom, and like zombies, like marching, like roads. It's what people automatically default to. If you say, you know what, we should just why don't we just live by natural law, which defines all of our individual rights and liberties, and it's super easy to figure out. We don't need complicated 3-inch thick books to explain that to anybody. It's kind of like summed up in the Bill of Rights, really. We just take that and that's it. That's all we need. And then they'll go, no, well, who will build the roads? The same people that build parking lots. The same people that build all the other shit. It's not the government. It's not, but they just paid money to have them built.
Printed money.
Printed, yes. Fiat currency. That's going to work out great.
At incredible rates, printed.
Mm-hmm.
I said it's printed at incredible rates, too.
It's true.
One thing that, speaking of that, let's not go down this road too far. We
can't.
One of the most cringy things I hear is for political arguments is the debt. Oh my God, but we have so much debt. How are we ever going to survive this? And blah, blah. They print it. It's monopoly money. Literally, like you can hide the money in the monopoly underneath the monopoly board, and they literally, you sneak it out when you want to do a sneak attack in Monopoly. If you're cheating.
The debt is
it's crazy.
Yeah, the debt is numbers that are incomprehensible. I think if the debt was going to cause a collapse, it would have done it already.
Oh, what happened a few years ago? Yeah, it would have been done. Would have been done. Like, it should have been done even before that. But now it's like at a portion which I think they've been positioning that for some sort of future response. Like it's going to play into the minds of the masses of, at least in America and probably abroad.
Yeah.
As a need for reform, right? A need for something more, along the lines of socialism, or who knows what, like digital currency, which we all know that's coming. That's it's happening. It's going to happen. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. And how we all get screwed in the end with the money that we currently have, and if there's like some sort of exchange rate that goes with that, I don't know. And so like even like one of the most infuriating things out there is obviously we're all experiencing and having a very difficult time with inflation. It's not easy. Like, I mean, we're all feeling it. I mean, it's horrible. Like,
and it's all artificial.
Well, that's what I'm going
at. They just move the numbers around, do whatever they want. Yeah. They could collapse the whole system tomorrow. You could wake up in the morning and the money's worthless.
When they want. When they want to do that, they will. Just like they did in 2007, the .com bubble. I mean, on average, it's every 7 to 10 years, something like that. It's like clockwork. It happens. And
it's
so
almost it almost mimics what I think happens for Loosh collection.
Sure.
Because you have these periods where it sees humanity suffers more.
100%.
And then you have periods where it suffers less.
100%.
It's almost like a respite and then suffering, and then respite and suffering. Global calamities and then nothing for a little while, And then I think every now and then they reset the whole thing.
Oh yeah, I'm with you 100%. I think there's evidence for it. Like, so I think there's absolute evidence for resets happening. The question is how often. There's like a whole host of individuals out there, even in the soul trap community, that make big claims that the reset's coming and this and that, and hunker down or whatever you got to do.
The reset's not a good thing.
No,
it's not a good.
Well,
it's a bad thing.
Well, but like to me, it's like I think they've been open they always tell us the truth in some way. It may not be, 100% transparent, but they always tell us the truth leading up to, during, and after something, especially after something occurs. And I think there's enough evidence to support that there's been multiple resets of humanity, of certain, at least regional areas, but I would even say realm-wide resets, at least probably anywhere between 5 and 7 times. But can I sit here, or can anyone sit here and say, oh, well, this is definitively when it happened? No, that's where the difference is. So anyone who makes big claims as if they know when it's going to happen, like the date and the time, or even a rough date or a rough year or something like that, I'm sorry, the evidence is just not there. It's not there. We just know that it happens. You have to remember, my friends, like, a lot of the information from previous resets has been lost. It's been deleted. We have such a minuscule amount of information available to us. There's a lot of information, a lot of helpful things, a lot of bullshit things, but at the end of the day, humanity does not know its own history. And I'll just kind of say one more thing on this, like, as far as like history goes, right? Reliable information as it pertains to the realm itself. Look at what we're living through now. Look at what we've lived through, or what other sectors of humanity have lived through just in the last 100 years, 200 years. They lie, and lie again, right? And we've seen it in real time, every day, day after day, month after month, year after year. They do it, and they don't even think twice about lying to our faces. So with that, it's like, how can you trust dates? How can you trust that calendars were a certain way and that certain things would fall and land on certain dates and years, when you know in real time that you're being lied to, and that this control structure is not new? I mean, the big word out there all the time is the New World Order, but the New World Order is the Old World Order. It's been around for a very, very long time. And again, like, can you sit back and rely on information that's been put forth? The one thing we can rely on is that humanity has been messed with. Humanity's been had the boot stomped over them all over the place. And by hook or by crook, they always have the upper hand. That's proof, right? But throwing out dates of resets and this and that, like, I'm sorry, we have evidence that they happen, but as far as like predicting or knowing anything about exactly how this all went down in the past, I'm sorry, it's all bullshit. I wish we can sit here, Dan, and talk about something and provide some sort of future timeline about all this stuff, but it's all bullshit and hyperbole.
Yeah, the thing is that we don't, as a matrix or a simulation reality, we don't even know when it started.
Yeah, exactly.
We assume certain things have been like here, but honestly, it's like I mentioned this before. When you go into a video game, if you're playing in a video game environment and you have Tomb Raider, for example, and you enter an ancient tomb, but the video game was made in 2018, and you're playing the video game in whatever 2019. That ancient tomb that's thousands of years old in the video game was really only built or came into existence when the programmers made the world you're playing in. So it's really not thousands of years old. Mm-hmm. It's just generated automatically to be that, perceived that old. So how do you know that our reality isn't like that?
Yeah. Yeah, that's a great question.
For all we know, everything booted in 100 years ago, and everything before that is just programmed into the game as a pre-programmed past. I mean, I know that sounds crazy, but it's one theory.
No. I mean, it's something to think about. It is. It's definitely something to think about. So I don't, I don't crap on you for saying something like that.
I mean, it's not like it's not like I believe that that's so. It's just a possibility.
Sure.
Yeah. I consider all, any viable possibilities, put them in like, kind of like a list in my head. And, if any information were to come along to be able to prove it, the only ones I am kind of certain is like the reincarnation soul trap, because there's so much evidence for it.
Yeah.
It's not disputable. I mean, you can dispute it, but then you have to ignore a whole bunch of data to do it.
I agree. And even then, like I always like to say, like, it's like I don't have all the answers, and you say the same thing, Dan. Like we all kind of sit here and talk and I think I'm with you, man. Like I think that the evidence is overwhelming. But what someone else considers evidence versus us as individuals, that's a whole nother story. I just want to check in with you. How you doing on energy? I know, it's getting a little late over there and you got some things to do tomorrow. So I don't know.
I'm getting pretty tired. Actually, the thing is that I've figured out now that I have sleep apnea. And apparently I took the test the other day. They say like this home thing where you attach these sensors to you. I don't know if you ever
I did it once, yeah.
They called me and they said, "Yep, you got to come in. You got apnea all over the place." I think I'll have more energy after I get that sorted out, because I don't think I've been sleeping right. I think that's been interfering with my attempts to go OBE and to go and do astral projection. I think the sleep apnea ruins it.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, no, because you're not getting proper REM sleep.
Yeah, you're not sleeping well at all, and I feel it. I feel it right now. Actually, I'm getting pretty tired.
All right. Well, how about you go relax and just and it's really important that you get your sleep, you get your machine and feel better and get better sleep, and maybe you'll be getting onto the body soon.
I hope so. I will be on Typical Skeptic podcast on Thursday.
I will join you. I will try to. Oh, is it this Thursday?
Thursday at the 19th at 9 p.m.
All right. So that's this Thursday, September 19th, 2024 at 9 p.m. you said, Dan?
Yeah.
All right. I left links to your website and to your YouTube and Odysee. And so, yeah, really appreciate you coming by tonight. And I'll be headed on over to the Truth in Gaming channel after this, so feel free to swing by. I'm dropping the link in there. Dan's channel and social media and all that stuff has also been dropped in the chat and in the description tab, so if you don't see it, feel free to swing by and check out Dan's channel. And dude, it's always great talking to you. Love you, brother. Thanks for so much for coming on, and take care of yourself. All right?
Thank you. I'll see you all next time.
All right. Thank you, brother.
Bye.
Take care. All right, my friends. It's been fun. Appreciate you all, and we'll see each other soon, okay? Take care of yourselves. I'll be over on the Truth in Gaming channel right now.